Hey, good morning, my dear friends. Welcome to the morning briefing here in beautiful Surfside, California. It's an absolutely gorgeous Monday morning. I hope you're having a great start to the work week, as it couldn't be any more lovely than it is right here. We've got a lot to talk to you about, including a catch of white sea bass and a signal that this is going to be an incredible season. All that market squid that's been around this year is going to pay off big, and it may be sooner rather than later. And of course, all the people at the PSC show, that was really, really great. Or PCS show. I screwed that up, but hey, whatever. It's a little early this morning. And also, we've got a lot more to cover with you. Hey, I guess I need a swig of this coffee. Let me do that and welcome you all to the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? Hey, don't forget to become a Patreon member. It's the way we get to produce all this great content for you, and we will produce more and grow the channel even more if you're able to give $5 a month. That's all it takes. Become a Patreon member today. www.patreon.com/Friedman Adventures. You can go to patreon.com and just search Friedman Adventures. And for as little as $5 a month, you'll help us to produce more and more content. Smash that like button. Share this video, please, if you enjoy these. And also, don't forget, we deeply appreciate all you do when you subscribe. It means the world to us. Thank you so much. It was great to have met so many wonderful people again yesterday at the PCS show. That was a lot of fun. Great show, lots of people, a lot of enthusiasm about sport fishing, and that's what it's all about. So many people coming together. And I have to, once again, thank everybody who went out of their way to walk over and say, hey, we love what you're doing. We support you 100%. It means so much to me, and I hope I made that really clear to all of you who went out of their way to come over and say hello. I deeply appreciate it. Now on the horizon, this Saturday, 1 to 2:30 in the afternoon, I'll be at Bass Pro Shops. Actually, I should be set up out there at around 11 a.m. And we'll have a table there, and I'd love to shoot a photo with you and say hello. We'll have some giveaways going on. And we'll also, of course, be doing 6 live podcasts, mostly saltwater. I think all saltwater in theme. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You can be part of the studio audience. You can ask questions. I can't wait. Bass Pro Shops, Rancho Cucamonga, and that's going to be this Saturday from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 2:30. We'll be at Bass Pro Shops. Hopefully you'll be able to join us there. That should be a real party and a lot of fun. And of course, Day at the Docks in San Diego the next weekend after that. And of course, looming out there on the horizon, the Bart Hall Show at the Long Beach Convention Center. Man, is that going to have a nostalgic feel to it? I can't wait. I'll be wandering around there also, and that should be a lot of fun. You can see it's high tide starting to roll up here, and on this very beach, tomorrow night, the first Grunion run of 2023. Not just this beach, you know, beaches in SoCal as well as Northern Baja will have that Grunion run. And man, that's a magical time for the kids and the family. Now, you are allowed to take Grunion during March. So keep that in mind. And you can get that bait. I call it bait. You can get the Grunion. You can eat them. A lot of people do. You can save them and freeze them for bait. But make sure you're up to date on all the regs. I'll give you a few of them, but just Google Grunion Run 2023. So you can't take more than 30 Grunion. You must have a California fishing license. You can't come down here with nets and a bucket and all of that. You got to apprehend these little slippery devils with your hands, and that's part of the fun. It's really kind of comical at times. And also, I think I mentioned, or maybe I didn't, you got to have a California fishing license unless you are under the age of 16. So keep that all in mind. Don't violate the rules, and it should be a lot of fun. Now, sometimes, but this is not a slam dunk, I'll see a lot of pelicans here, and you can kind of figure that the Grunion are staging. I don't see any bird life at all this morning. So given my great predictions on albacore, looking out there and thinking, I don't know if it's going to happen this early season, it will probably be one of the most magnificent Grunion runs we've ever seen. So keep that in mind for the families. Those Grunion runs go for 4 nights. So it will start Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it gets a little bit later each and every night. I think it's about a 10 p.m. start here tomorrow night, something like that. So we'll be keeping our eyes on it. Of course, that can kick this whole bite into gear. Now, instead of starting down in Cabo like I normally do, let's jump and cut to the chase on this white sea bass. Bob Elliott is the guy that Eddie Leland fishes with all the time. And Eddie says this guy is a really capable fisherman. And Bob said instead of going to the show, he went and tried to catch a couple of fish. And man, nice big sea bass, beautiful, great fish. And that is a great sign. If I had to take a dart and throw it as to where he caught these, and it's a total guess on my part, I'd throw it at Santa Barbara Island. That's a place that holds fish during the wintertime really, really well. And once again, we've mentioned this to you, but there's been an incredible amount of market squid this year. And remember, the commercial season was abbreviated because China stopped buying the market squid from the guys here in SoCal. So a lot of guys just stopped fishing. So that squid has been left unmolested. And what it does is it just creates that food chain and sucks those predators in here. And I'm telling you, I've been saying it for a long time, the Channel Islands, it's a slam dunk this year. And that reminds me, Ventura Sport Fishing, don't miss fishing with Tucker McCombs and the rest of the guys there at Ventura Sport Fishing. They do such a great job. I'm telling you, they're going to have a huge spring this year. I wasn't sure it was going to start this early, and I'm not so sure it has in terms of sport boats. You know, Bob Elliott is such a good fisherman, and sometimes the smaller private boaters will get in on it a few weeks before it actually takes place, but it could be ready to rock and roll, and that is super exciting news for all of us at Friedman Adventures, and it should be to each and every one of you too. Great, nice grade of fish. We'll see where it goes from here. If we can keep some decent weather, that would really help, and hopefully we'll be able to do that as we move along. That's really exciting stuff. I'm stoked about it. Hey, I got to make a correction. One of our Friedman Adventure family members, I was talking about the Coronado Islands and assigned a yellowtail down there, and I mentioned the new Seaforth was out bumping around. I was wrong. It was the San Diego. Sorry about that. San Diego out of Seaforth Sport Fishing. I'm so happy the San Diego is back running again because those guys on that rig, man, they are really good at what they do. Not only in terms of fishing, customer service also, but if there's a forky, a yellowtail to be found, they'll find it. And they've had a signal of it, didn't catch it, but it certainly seems to be headed in the right direction. I'm hoping we're going to see more of that. All right, Cabo San Lucas, a few stripers down there, marlin, not all that great along the beaches. We're still picking at the Sierras and catching a few rooster fish. Also, as we look offshore, there's a little bit of Dorado and yellowfin tuna. That'll get going again very, very soon. Up in the East Cape, similar kind of situation. Eddie Dalmau, Palmas de Cortez, it was so good to see you at the show. Also, go Irish. And then we move you up a little bit closer. Cedros, we're going to start to see those yellows turning on down there at Cedros, starting to catch them now. A little bit of calico bass. There has been some big halibut and some white sea bass caught in that neck of the woods also. And then moving you up the beach a little bit, some yo-yo iron yellowtail out of San Quintin. That's 140 miles below the border. Punta Colonet. We're going to have San Diego-based boats headed down there this next weekend, and they're catching copious amounts of rockfish, but should see a yellow bite out of that. Also, up there around Ensenada, our friends from Blackfin Sport Fishing, they're catching big bonita and small bonita around Punta Banda area, and rockfish down the beach there a little ways at Punta Santo, or around Santo Tomas on the Soledad Reef and Bank. That place has been pretty darn good. Also, Blackfin, Arnie Sport Fishing, Diego Nuno from Costa Baja Sport Fishing also. So that's looking good on that side of the border. Now, we get you up into the USA right here, and in the USA, we are still not allowed to take rockfish. Mexico is open, so those boats that cross the border, that's why you're seeing them catching rockfish, like boats going down to Colonet. A lot of guys are talking offshore, though, and a little bit later on, we're going to see some boats going out trying to find that bluefin tuna, and I'm very curious to see what is going to happen with regard to that. It could really be a dynamic type of start to the season. We've already got this signal on sea bass. We've had all that squid around. I think we're good there. And then when rockfish season opens in SoCal on April the 1st, man, you're just going to have so many options available to you. It is going to be fantastico. So once again, San Diego-based boats headed down there. The local boats are doing what the local boats are doing up and down our coast. Here, Long Beach and San Pedro. Sorry about that. Some of you want me to say Pedro. All the way up to Marina del Rey and beyond. We're picking away at some sand and calico bass. Still wintertime bass. I know it's a gorgeous morning, but that water's still a little bit cool. Bass are lethargic during this time of the year, so you got to get a bait right in front of their nose, and they'll come out of their structure and bite it. And if you're lucky, you'll get them out of the structure. Now, rarely do we see a wide open bite on the bass. Sometimes those twilight trips out of Marina del Rey get pretty close to it. But for the most part, you're picking a few fish and then filling in with great eating sculpin and whitefish. And what's wrong with that, man? I mean, you get out on the water, you get to enjoy a beautiful day, and you get to go home and make some great fish tacos. No question about that. So pretty much that's what we're dealing with here in SoCal. Don't forget, use fluorocarbon. Abrasion resistance gets a bit better. www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. I was a little disappointed with Greg Brown, to be honest with you. I really don't like to air my dirty laundry here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel about a sponsor of ours, but several people said they went over to Greg Brown and that I had promised them that Greg would give them a hug and a kiss, and he declined to do it. Greg, I don't know what I'm going to do with you. What is wrong with you? So anyway, I don't blame you, Greg. Anyway, use that Option USA. It really works well. Along the beaches here, in terms of the surf fishing bite, I'm going to take a look at it myself. Looks like nice conditions. Probably pick off a halibut with that Grunion run coming. So you're fishing a chrome lure like a crocodile or a Castmaster or a reasonable facsimile thereof. Of course, Lucky Crab lures work really, really well. They do. One thing and this is just me, okay? I don't like fishing those 3 treble hooks. When you hook a ray or something like that, it's a real pain in the neck. So I stick to my crocodile for the most part, but there's no doubt Lucky Craft or reasonable facsimile thereof is super effective in the surf here. You'll catch bigger barb perch on that thing also. Bait is probably the best way to go in the wintertime. It just seems to work much better when you're surf fishing in the wintertime, so keep that in mind. And man, nice conditions, no question about it. High tide, I think, is around 8 a.m. this morning. So, and then it's going to increase as we go along. So, you know, I like that window 2 hours before the high tide until 2 hours after. Gives you a 4-hour window to fish. You can catch halibut on the low tide, no doubt about it. So it's not etched in concrete to fish those 4 hours, but it's a really productive time for the most part to be out here fishing the surf. We'll keep our eyes on that for you also. All right, let me look at my notes here, see if I've skipped over anything. Not really, but one thing I want to remind you about, Bass Pro Shops Rancho. Be there. In fact, at the end of this, we got a little radio promotion. Take a listen to it, and it'll tell you all about this extraordinary day at Bass Pro Shops. And really, it's a few weeks for their spring festival, and they've got all kinds of discounts out there, and they're very welcoming. And it's like the Disneyland for fishermen and outdoorsmen going to Bass Pro in Rancho Cucamonga. I'll see you there this Saturday, and then after that, I'll see you a day at the docks, and then after that, I'll be hanging out throughout the entire Long Beach Convention Bard Hall show. That is going to be a spectacular time. Once again, to all the folks that I was so fortunate to say thank you to at the PCI show, it was great to have met you or revisited with you, and I'll tell you, I can't wait to see you on these upcoming events. All right, my friends, did you see a gray whale back there, or a sea lion, or did a mermaid jump out of the water? Make sure you drop a comment in comments if you saw something back there, because my attention, of course, is with all of you. Have a great morning, a wonderful start to the work week, and as always, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends. Oh my God, that's good.
Reel in the savings at Bass Pro Shops in Rancho Cucamonga for our biggest fishing sale of the year. The Spring Fishing Classic is March 9th through the 29th. There will be free seminars happening all event long. Friedman Adventures will be recording a podcast on March 11th from 1 to 2:30 with local pro staff being interviewed. Kids Weekend is March 18th and 19th with a catch and release pond and free photo download. Check the store page at basspro.com for all the details. Catch big savings all over the store, like up to 55% off select Bass Pro Shops lures. And save $50 on a Bass Pro Shops Extreme XML Baitcast combo. Trade in your old rod and reel and save up to $100 on a new one. All trade-ins will be donated to local nonprofit organizations to help get more kids outside. Your adventure starts at the Spring Fishing Classic at Bass Pro Shops in Rancho Cucamonga. Don't forget to check out the MDC camper next to our Tracker Off-Road department for the ultimate outdoor adventure.